Because I agree that a lot of times churches, we go to church, it's a good word. You shout, you sing, you cry.
Yes.
And then when you leave, somebody asks you, well, what did you talk about? I don't know. It was good, though. It was good,
How
though.
would you apply that to your life?
Yeah.
Apply what?
Right. What is it? What did it really mean? So, and I know that I'm still learning, but really learning how to get into the word and understand
It's an ongoing
what it
process.
really, what it means. And like you said, how to apply it to my situation,
Yes.
So that's very,
Knowing how to pray, why we pray, what did God say about praying, when the Bible began,
Yes,
what is God's purpose for us?
Yes, Lord.
And how do we take these things and apply them to our life and to help others with it? Because the two greatest commandments to love the Lord with all thy heart and then to love thy neighbor as thyself. How can we love our neighbor if we don't understand
Amen. What love
what
really
love
is.
really
Yes.
is?
Right. That's very true.
I'm excited.
Very true.
I'm excited about what's in store because we have to prepare ourselves.
Right. That's very
right.
true. It's very true.
This is so much fun.
Yeah.
It's so much fun. It's God. It's good.
It's very
good.
Transcending fears. A lot of times God tells us to do something. And when I met Dr. Honey and she says that, we do have to explain this.
Yes.
We have to explain, Dr. Honey,
Yeah.
the book says Dr. Sullivan.
Uh-huh.
Okay, explain.
Well, Dr. Honey came about with my eldest grandson would visit me in Ohio. My daughter would send him up every summer from Atlanta, and he'd stay all summer. And he would be downstairs in the house, little baby crawling up the stairs, and I would say, William, come here. I'd say, honey, come up. And he would say, yes, honey. He would copy me. And after William did it, all of the grandkids would say, honey. I was Grandma Honey.
Oh.
Then, when I became Director of Compliance for the Mental Health Board in Ohio, the staff would call me Dr. Honey. So I became Honey. At my church in Georgia, my church in Alabama, and through every place I've been in the United States, it would be Honey. So I've been Honey, from Dr. Honey, Grandma Honey. I'm just plain old Honey.
Yes.
And I love it. It's so endearing. So I thank God for all the honey. Yes.
And, Dr. Honey is, as I stated earlier, very accomplished. We will be seeing a lot more of her. I know that this will not be the last interview. I do want to give her an opportunity to give us, because she is very humble, but just to give us a little bit of background as to all of the paths that she's taken, because she's been in Atlanta, she's been in Georgia, she's been in Alabama, and each stop has taken her into a different area of the realm, of God. Talk to us a little more about that.
Wow. This is something. Well, as I said earlier, to get away from that childhood disaster, that pain that was so deeply embedded in my heart, I went with my favorite uncle one Memorial weekend. He would come to Kentucky every Memorial Day for the holidays. That's the big thing in Kentucky.
Wow.
And I kept praying to God as a teenager. I said, when I graduate, I'm going with Uncle George. So the moment I graduated, May the 28th, 1968, I was on the road with Uncle George to Cleveland, Ohio. I got to Cleveland and stayed with my aunt and uncle, my Aunt Norma and Uncle George, for a few months. I stayed with them, and while in their home, I just always felt loved by them. They were the parents I wanted, because I thought I wanted before I graduated. But I found out, I quickly grew up, I found out that adults have misunderstandings. They would argue, they would fuss, and they would fight, and I said, this is the way it's supposed to be. So I got married to the first little buster I met and fell in love with, and went through my own battles. And I said, oh, Lord, that didn't work. I stayed married to have the kids, and got out of that. The Lord just get me out of this. In between that, school. And I was always in church. And I found out something on this journey in Ohio, that in church life, you go to church thinking that, okay, I'm going to where God lives. You know, I'm going, think he live in the building. I'm going to
Yeah,
where God is.
right.
So I'm going to safety. I'm going for rescue.
Right.
And I found out that more hellraisers were in the church than even in that home I had come out of. I mean, there were people competing. You have the singer, the lead singer, wanting to lead all the songs but never coming to rehearsal just because she was the pastor's niece or the pastor's daughter. Then you'd find the committee, the little clique that hangs together and stick together. Nobody could do anything but that committee. Then you find the deacons who want to run the church. So I went through all of that and watched all of that. But one thing I always loved to do was sing. We as human beings are so afraid of sharing
Right,
the
right,
limelight. It's
right.
all about us.
Right.
And I've learned over the years that it's not about us, it's
Right.
about Jesus.
It is.
That there can be cooperation and peace in a church if it's a godly
Right.
church.
Right.
And Pastor Jeff Greer at River Chase Baptist Church in Hoover, Alabama, I love you and your family and my church family there. We grew so close to them, and they're God-fearing people. They love the Lord. They love working together. And you know, there's problems everywhere. You
Right.
run into difficulties every place, but love
Right.
rules. Love overpowers everything ugly, and that's what we experienced in LA.